The Pokemon that you currently see on the loading screen is going to be coming to Pokemon Go. This Pokemon is Corviknight, and it's going to be making its debut with an upcoming Steel Type and Rock Type themed event. I'm excited about this event, but there's going to be a lot of controversy around it, and the reason for that is because of how you can get this new Pokemon. Alright, what's happening everyone? Count Jinsula here. I hope your day is going fantastically well. Welcome to another Pokemon Go video. Let's get right into it. We have ourselves a Steel type event coming up in Pokemon Go, and it's going to be featuring a brand new Pokemon, and it is Corviknight. For anyone who played Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I think it's actually Pokemon Sword and Shield where this Pokemon debuted. Yeah, it's a very popular one because it's the one that you needed to fast travel in that game. So a lot of players are very fond of it because they were very much using it throughout the entirety of playing that game. And it's coming to Pokemon Go. It's not going to give you any kind of fast travel mechanics. I think some players were saying that maybe you could use Corviknight to spoof in the game. I think that's a very hilarious concept. But it's actually kind of genius if you think about it. But regardless, yeah, Corviknight is coming to the game, and the way that you get this Pokemon is definitely going to be controversial. So yeah, real quick, let's talk about this Steel type event, because I think the details are definitely going to reveal all of the good things and the bad things about this Pokemon, and then I'll give my thoughts at the end of it. The new Pokemon Corviknight is going to be debuting through the Steel Resolve event, which is going to be happening between January 21st at 10 o'clock a.m. local time until January 26th at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. The featured Pokemon are the Rookidee family, which is Rookidee, Corvisquire, and Corviknight. These three Pokemon originated from the Galar region, and they're a bit of a fan favorite. Now, we're also going to be getting the following wild encounters during this event. You're going to see an increase of Clefairy, Machop, Totodile, Marill, Hoppip, Paldean Wooper, Shieldon, Bunnelby, Carbink, and Mareanie. These are all phenomenal Pokemon when you evolve them for PvP, so this is going to be somewhat of a PvP-centric event, because when it comes to Pokemon like Totodile, Shieldon, Paldean Wooper, Carbink, all of them evolve into Pokemon that are considered meta within the Great League. This is definitely going to be a really solid event, especially if you need some solid PvP Pokemon. Now, we're going to get the following raid bosses during this event. It's going to be when Deoxys Attack Form and Deoxys Defense Form are in 5-star raids, but that's going to be until January 24th. After which, we're going to see the return of Dialga, and that is pretty big because Dialga is a very popular Pokemon within Pokemon Go. And then in Mega Evolution raids, at this point we're going to have Mega Gallade introduced into Pokemon Go, so that's going to be the Mega Evolution boss until January 24th. And then afterwards we're going to have Mega Medicham in Mega Evolution raids. If you need any of these Mega Evolutions, then make sure you do a couple of Mega Evolution raids while these are active. And then we're also going to get field research tasks and Pokestop showcases themed around this event. Those are things you should watch out for during this event in order to get some really solid premium items and rewards. Oh, and one more thing. Now, since this is a Pokemon Go event, unfortunately there's going to be a lot of monetization aspects. In 2 Kilometer Eggs, you're going to potentially get Shieldon, Carbink, Mareanie, or the new Pokemon Rookidee. And then there's going to be a $5 paid timed research, which is going to award you with a 2x Hatch Stardust bonus, 5,000 experience, 20,000 Stardust, 1 Elite Charge TM, and event-themed Pokemon encounters. Now, the 2x Hatch Stardust bonus is pretty decent, and you do get 1 Elite Charge TM, but I will say that this is definitely not worth $5 USD. Do not spend money on this ticket, that is my suggestion, because you're really not getting your money's worth. Now, when you evolve certain Pokemon during this event, you're going to get yourself some exclusive attacks. When you evolve a Machoke into a Machamp, you're going to get the legacy move Karate Chop. And then if you evolve into a Feraligatr, you're going to get Hydro Cannon. And then Quagsire is going to get Aqua Tail, Lickilicky is going to get Body Slam, Corviknight is going to get Iron Head, and Clodsire is going to get Mega Horn. The thing that I find interesting is that Corviknight actually has an exclusive move during this event, and I think that's something that we need to touch on later on. Now we're also going to get the following event bonuses. You're going to be able to remove frustration off of your shadow Pokemon with charge TMs. And yeah, you heard that right. This is not a Team Go Rocket Takeover event, and yet we're going to be getting one of the most important bonuses from those events during this Steel type event. So that is definitely really cool. And then considering that this is a Steel type event, we're also going to be able to get different Pokemon from magnetic lures. And one of those Pokemon is going to be the new Pokemon Rookidee. And then finally, there's going to be an additional step of the Dual Destiny Special Research, which is going to award you with Fast TMs, Charge TMs, as well as a Lucky Egg. And then finally, in 1-star raids, we're going to have Lickitung, Skorupi, Pancham, and Amara. Alright, so it goes without saying that I've been trying to be very positive towards Pokemon Go in 2025. I think in the previous year I was extremely negative towards this game, and I think a big part of that is because I was just really sick and tired of Niantic's monetization practices. I felt like a lot of the stuff in the game was downgraded because Niantic is trying to get more money from their players. And I've been trying to overlook a lot of that and trying to see the positives with every single in-game event, with every single Pokemon that they release, with everything that they're trying to do with the special in-game events like Pokemon Go Fest and Go Tour, but I really can't ignore this. I think this is actually kind of egregious that not only are they locking Rookidee, which is the pre-evolved form of Corviknight, behind eggs and special lure modules, you are going to be able to get a special move if you can get Corviknight during this event. I think that's them blatantly trying to get you to hatch eggs, and this is pretty ridiculous if you ask me, because on top of it being in the egg pool exclusively, I do feel like what Niantic is trying to do is get players to actually hatch eggs, because I think for the last couple of events where the new Pokemon was introduced through an egg, Niantic probably saw that a majority of players were actually not caring about hatching eggs. They just simply did not feel the need to do so. I mean, yeah, it's brand new Pokedex entries, but because they're not spawning in the wild, players are not feeling inclined to catch them right away. They are probably savvy to the point that any Pokemon that Niantic introduces, eventually it is going to be catchable one day. And there's never going to be a point where if you do not catch a Pokemon during the event it's introduced in, you're just never going to be able to get it in the future. I don't think Niantic would go that far, especially with a Pokemon like Corviknight, but for them to make it time limited to get yourself an exclusive move for that Pokemon, and the only way to get it is if you hatch a whole bunch of eggs during the event, yeah, that's very blatant. That's them trying to get players to actually hatch those eggs during this event. So yeah, I really do not like this one aspect of this event. I mean, I'm still really excited at the introduction of this Pokemon, and I do think the event bonuses and a lot of the different Pokemon that you're going to be able to get are actually pretty good. But at the same time, I think this one thing definitely sours my feelings towards this event. I do think this is one of those things that Niantic should not have done, but at the very least, it's just going to be for this one Pokemon. I really hope this doesn't set a precedent for future events, even though a lot of recently introduced Pokemon were locked behind premium content like raid battles, egg hatching, what have you. Players do know that eventually you can get those Pokemon. So if all you care about is the Pokedex entry, it's not going to be high pressure for you to get those Pokemon right away, but now they're giving you an incentive to do so, and they're almost forcing your hand. So yeah, this is kind of a bummer. I really do think this event could have been something really good, and it would have continued a lot of the positive momentum. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how the community reacts to this whole thing. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Do you not like the fact that Corviknight is getting an exclusive move specifically during this event? Do you wish Niantic would make it so that these new Pokemon were introduced into the wild first? Definitely share all of your thoughts. And yeah, let's have a great discussion. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. Real quick, let me give a shout out to all my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Content Slow channel, the absolute best way to do so is always going to be by joining my Patreon. If you become a paid Patreon member, you get a permanent spot in my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids and the friendship system, if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you could always do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you in the next one.